All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. It's that time of the week, folks. My weekly picks in the world of the National Football League. I was able to go 3-0 on my picks on Thanksgiving Day. We had some tightly contested action, but at the end of the day, the better team in each contest won. And with that said, we got some solid games on tap for tomorrow, as well as a Monday night affair. And with that said, here are my picks for this weekend in the NFL. Now, I'm going to get things started with the 5-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to take on the 3-7 Cleveland Browns. And for Tampa Bay, they're coming off of their bye. They went into their bye on a positive note as they won 2 games in a row, and they want to keep that going. Now, no Leonard Fournette at running back for Tampa, but you still got that dude back there playing quarterback. And we're talking about Tom Brady. And as long as Tom Brady's back there, you're going to have an opportunity to win games. But I think it's going to be important for this offensive line to protect the veteran quarterback, especially when you're dealing with a guy like Myles Garrett, who is one of the better edge rushers right now in the NFL. For Jacoby Brissett at quarterback for Cleveland, what are you going to get? It's like a Jekyll and Hyde type guy. And when you have a guy at quarterback who's struggling like that and is up and down, it's imperative to run the football effectively. I think because of that, Cleveland definitely wants to rely on running back Nick Chubb in this one. It's going to be a back and forth affair. The last team that possesses the ball will win. And because of that, I'm going to give the edge to Tampa Bay by the score of 27-24. They're going to have the 6-4 Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Nashville to take on the 7-3 Tennessee Titans. This is a playoff rematch from this past January. And both of these teams have what it takes to meet once again this January in the postseason. You think back to that game this past January where the Tennessee Titans front seven was able to just pin their ears back and consistently come after Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. That's going to once again be the case tomorrow, I do believe. No Joe Mixon at running back for Cincinnati as he's in the concussion protocol. But on the flip side, Ryan Tannehill, you do remember all of the costly interceptions that he threw in that contest last year. So with that said, I think Tennessee rather, wants to get back to their bread and butter, which is running the football. And at the end of the day, if you're the Titans, you just give the ball to Derrick Henry and get out of his way. Even with the Titans' ability to rush the passer as good as they can, and the Bengals' continued woes on the offensive line, I still think this is going to be a tightly contested game, but I'm going to give the slight edge to Tennessee by the score of 24-23. Now, down in South Florida, it's going to be the 7-3 Miami Dolphins hosting the 1-8-1 Houston Texans. Now, Miami is definitely going to be looking to avoid a letdown. They come into this contest favored by 2 touchdowns over the beleaguered Texans, but Miami needs to go out there and take care of their business. How do you do that? You get the football to your playmakers, and I'm talking about Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Let them do their thing and get out of their way. You want to jump on this Texans team early. You don't want to give them life. And on top of that, putting the Texans in a hole allows you, if you're Miami, to allow your edge rushers to pin their ears back and come after the quarterback. I think Miami will take care of their business. And because of that, I'm going to take the Fins at home by the score of 30-17. Now at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, you're going to have the 6-4 New York Jets hosting the 3-8 Chicago Bears. And will this Jets offense look any different with Mike White installed at quarterback? Of course, we know the big story in the New York area from this earlier this week when the Jets made the decision to not only bench quarterback Zach Wilson, but make him inactive for this game, as Joe Flacco is going to be the backup quarterback in this one. Obviously, if you watched the Jets play last week, you saw that Zach Wilson was not good. This offense was not good. And of course, his response to the media rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So now Jets head coach Robert Saleh decided to go in a different direction. The Bears are licking their wounds as well. Justin Fields, one of the better running quarterbacks, in the NFL, is now dealing with a shoulder issue on his left shoulder. So that really changes things for the Bears. But on the flip side, you look at the way that this Jets defense is playing, and Robert Sala's unit knows how to get after opposing quarterbacks. And I think that trend will continue tomorrow. I think this Jets team will play inspired. And because of that, I'm going to take New York at home by the score of 23-17. Now, in what could be the best game tomorrow, you're going to have the 6-5 Washington Commanders hosting the 5-6 Atlanta Falcons. Both of these teams are right in the mix for a postseason spot. Washington is on a roll after the slow start, while Atlanta is right there behind Tampa for the top spot in the NFC South, and they know a win here with a Bucks loss would put them in first place. I think this game comes down to the defenses. Which defense is going to be able to make life tough for the opposing quarterback, be it Marcus Mariota and in Atlanta, and of course Tyler Heineke and Washington. But at the end of the day, I just love the way excuse me, that this Washington Commanders team is playing. Like I keep saying, it's a Ron Rivera type team. It's not pretty, but at the end of the day, they go out there and win. And I think that trend continues as I'm going to take the Commanders at home by the score of 31-27. Now in Charlotte, you're going to have the 3-8 Carolina Panthers hosting the 3-7 Denver Broncos in a game that somebody has to win. It has not been pretty for either one of these teams this season. Of course, it's been more disappointing for the Denver Broncos, most notably on the offense. And that trend continued last week as the Broncos blew a fourth quarter lead and then subsequently lost in overtime to the Raiders. I look at this contest here. Somebody has to back into a win. I think the Broncos do it. The Panthers are just that bad. And I'm going to take Denver on the road by the score of 20-16. Now in Jacksonville, you're going to have the 3-7 Jaguars hosting the 7-3 Baltimore Ravens. And for the Fighting Lamar Jacksons and company, they definitely want to keep rolling. Lamar Jackson, make no mistake about it, is one of the better playmakers in the NFL. But then I also look at Baltimore's defense going up against second-year quarterback Trevor Lawrence and this Jaguars offense. If you notice during Lawrence's time in the NFL, he has been a turnover bug, most notably throwing a lot of interceptions. I think that trend continues tomorrow. And because of that, I'm going to take Baltimore on the road by the score of 30-19. Now, in the desert, in Glendale, you're going to have the 4-7 Arizona Cardinals hosting the 5-5 Los Angeles Chargers. And this is one of those games where you just have to wonder which team is going to seize the moment because the Chargers have the tools to make a playoff run. The Cardinals somewhat have the tools, but they can't get out of their own way. I'm looking at the quarterbacks. Which quarterback is going to take this game over? Is it going to be Kyler Murray for Arizona, or is it going to be Justin Herbert for the Chargers? One of these teams is going to leave the field extremely disappointed that they found a way to lose this game. I think it's the Birds, and because of that, I'm going to take the Lightning Bolts by the score of 31-27. Now, out in the Pacific Northwest, you're going to have the 6-4 Seattle Seahawks hosting the 3-7 Las Vegas Raiders. Seattle comes into this contest favored by 4 points. They're also fresh off of their bye, and they want to keep the momentum going. You got to love the way that the rookie out of Michigan State is running the football right now for Seattle. And I'm talking about Kenneth Walker. And then the Seahawks offense with quarterback Geno Smith. You know, they've been very good all season long. Will this Seahawks defense be able to put some pressure on Raiders quarterback Derek Carr throughout? That's going to be the big thing. The Raiders finally got back on the winning side last week, but I don't see that trend continuing. They're going to have their hands full with the Seattle team tomorrow. And because of that, I'm going to take the Birds at home by the score of 31-26. Now, in what was an anticipated matchup heading into the season is no longer that case. You're going to have the 8-2 Kansas City Chiefs hosting the defending Super Bowl champions Los Angeles Rams. The Rams come into this contest, a big time underdog. They're 15 and a half points down. They have a 3-7 record. Their starting quarterback, Matthew Stafford, is on the shelf, and this is a recipe for disaster. But I look at this Rams defense. Will they be up for the challenge? And I mean, will they? Because their pride is going to be tested in this game. with the likes of Aaron Donald and Bobby Wagner and Jalen Ramsey on that side of the ball? Can they find a way to slow down this Kansas City offense with Patrick Mahomes? I think that the Rams defense will be up for the challenge, but the problem is the Rams offense has so many issues right now. No Cooper Cup, no Matthew Stafford. They can't run the ball. They can't block for anybody. And they have so many questions on their offensive line. And because of that, I'm going to take Kansas City at home by the score of 27-16. Now in Santa Clara, you're going to have the 6-4 San Francisco 49ers hosting the 4-7 New Orleans Saints. San Francisco comes into this contest favored by 9 points. And in watching them play recently, you kind of get the feeling that this team is ready to turn the corner and get on a roll. Christian McCaffrey is probably the best trade asset that anybody picked up prior to the trade deadline this year in the NFL. Debo Samuel is still not healthy. That's going to be a big thing going forward for San Francisco. And then, of course, their ability to rush the passer defensively. And I like that going up against this Saints offense with quarterback Andy Dalton, who has thrown a pick six or two in his NFL career. Because of that, I'm going to take San Fran by the score of 29-20. Now, tomorrow night in Philadelphia, you're going to have the 9-1 Eagles hosting the 4-7 Green Bay Packers. Philadelphia got back on track last week with a comeback win over the Indianapolis Colts, and they want to keep that momentum going. The pressure is really going to be on this Packers secondary, trying to slow down all of the talent that the Eagles have at wide receiver, as well as the Packers defense overall, trying to slow down this juggernaut that is the Philly offense. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers, what is he and this Packers offense going to be able to do on Sunday night in Philadelphia? That's going to be the big thing. The Packers are fighting an uphill battle. They will be game, but when it's all said and done, I'm going to take Philadelphia at home by the score of 31-20. And finally, on Monday night, you're going to have the 3-7 Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to take on the 4-6 Indianapolis Colts. And in this contest, somebody's offense has to show up. Veteran quarterback Matt Ryan, what can he do for the Colts? On the flip side, for Pittsburgh, it's been a struggle all season long. Rookie quarterback Kenny Pickett is taking his lumps, but the bottom line is he's sticking in there. Pittsburgh's going to be a tough out for Indianapolis, but the bottom line is the Colts are slightly better. And because of that, I'm going to give Indy the nod at home by the score of 24-16. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.